亞洲金融論壇2017關注當下議題。專題午餐會上，印度央行前行長、芝加哥大學布思商學院金融學傑出服務教授拉詹擔任講者，分析咗全球各市場嘅政策信息，並喺活動之後作進一步討論。
Dr. Rajan, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And now looking at the US economy, because that seems to be riding the whole wave at the moment, do you see the American economy really progressing much better than 2016 and indeed more than anyone expects?
I think every year for the last few years, the first quarter has been weak. But this time we have a recovery which was in place even before the elections. Post-elections, there's some euphoria about the possibility of deregulation in some industries, about a fiscal boost, lower taxes, maybe a new tax code, all of which is giving some optimism to the markets and to certain segments of industry. So short run, probably we're in for stronger growth.
There is what people call this anti-globalization feeling across the world with Brexit and with the voting in of Donald Trump as President of the United States. Now, is that kind of thing going to be a real damper on the world economy as you see it?
The question is what happens in the medium term. And that is where the policies of the new administration matter a lot. The kinds of people who have been appointed to various positions have a record of being, to some extent, anti-trade. Not all of them, but some of them. And the worry is that having put these people in these positions and having promised a lot to the electorate, we will get a lot of rhetoric about, protection. And the question is how much this translates to actual action. And I worry that you can't keep talking without actually acting. Somebody is going to call your bluff. And when you act, there's going to be a reaction from the rest of the world. This is why one has to be fairly cautious about the medium term.
And when are you talking about Asia in particular? Because Asia relies on global trade to a very large extent. Do you see that's going to be a moot point in 2017 as to what happens?
Absolutely. For one, investment into the emerging markets, Asian emerging markets, is going to be somewhat constrained by the view, what are the tariffs going to be? Already the tax code has a effective tax on imports while favoring exports. So what is the net effect of all this? Of course, there'll be exchange rate adjustments also. The dollar will strengthen in response to some of the protectionism. But the question is, do the Asian economies have as much of a competitive advantage? And how much does it translate to non-price actions, quantitative actions? You must produce thus and such amount in the US to be able to sell. Now, these things are all up in the air.
Now, some people are saying that multilateralism is in retreat, basically. Now, does something like the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, is that counter to that?
I do think that the reaction from the emerging markets to an industrial country inward-looking focus has to be do more of it ourselves. If that kind of feeling emerges, hopefully we won't get the closing down that a number of people in the UK and the US seem to propose. And I think the Belt and Road Initiative is an important factor here because it's trying to link a lot of Asia together. And I think what is important as we go forward is truly build a multilateral understanding of these issues within Asia. So the more it is seen as a collective effort, with collective financing, collective investment, I think it will help the entire initiative.
Given the prospects that there are for the Belt and Road Initiative, where do you think Hong Kong stands?
Well, you're on the edge of what is soon to be the largest, if not already the largest economy in the world. And clearly with the initiative coming from China for the Belt and Road project, presumably a fair amount of the design, financing, construction management, project management, will be something that Hong Kong can participate in.
So Hong Kong really can be the super connector for the Belt and Road?
It can, and I think that as an open city which has a large expatriate population and which has laws which are trusted, I think broadly outside, I think, and a justice system. I think all this is part and parcel of creating large infrastructure projects. And I think it could play a major role there.